Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One and welcome to Boots on the Ground. Hope you're staying warm. It's about 20 degrees here. The wind is howling, so if you hear anything in the background, it's just the wind. Just trying to stay warm. Let's get right into Boots on the Ground. This is from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Children's Tylenol and ibuprofen shelves are bare. CVS said they can't even fill a child's script if they need it. New York City, eggs, regular $9.99, but don't worry, they're on sale this week for $7.19 a dozen. Another 19,000 turkeys in southern Missouri affected by bird flu, or what they say is bird flu. Hello, I work at a natural and organic grocery store in the Chicago area, and today our store was over half empty in the dairy and bakery department. It was hard to tell customers that we're out of these food items. I've been working at this location for almost 16 years and have never seen something like this ever before. This person always sends in good reports. They're in the grocery industry, and you know what, I'll tell you, this person really loves their job and they're trying to do a good job, so I commend this person. Today I went to our nearest biggest city, and that'd be Grand Rapids, Michigan. I have recently been checking food out at a grocery outlet, and I've been saving a little bit of money doing that. Today I found it for 25 cents a pound for pasta, so that's a great deal. So I bought a few cases and I plan to put it away in Mylar bags. Also, they've been looking for dry kidney beans for a few months in my area, but not been able to find any. Wondering if others have seen a shortage, or is it just a localized issue? So kidney beans, can you find kidney beans in your area? Also, our trash bill went up $30 in the last year, from $78 to $108, and this would be a 38% increase in 1 year. 38%. That does not jive too good with the 9% that they're telling us officially. I went to the gun show in Hoover, just outside of Birmingham, and they had a note posted everywhere: cashless, cards only. This is the biggest show of the year, and lots of people were walking away because they didn't want to pay with a debit card. Once inside, half the venue was empty. I asked a dealer I know, where is everyone? He said they left. It's definitely was definitely not as many people there, and this could be my last show. Well, it'd be their last show, I guess. Maybe people don't have money and they're not buying. Washington State, they now charge, I guess, 8 cents for a bag. The politicians push this because of each 8 cent they get for a bag, the state gets 1 cent in tax. So much for caring about the environment, just padding their coffers. I live in Fort Collins, Colorado area, and I shop at the local Walmart just east of Fort Collins. For the past months, since before Thanksgiving, this store has been out of flour and sugar, which they are still out. They were out of also of eggs and apple cider vinegar for 2 weeks. Today went shopping there, and the 9-pack of toilet paper is in short supply, and it's at $6.36. Recently, my wife got her hair done at a local hairdresser who works out of her home. Upon her return, my wife asked me if I could do the hairdresser a favor. One of her sinks was terribly clogged and needed the service of a plumber. Unfortunately, what few plumbers are still around the area are booked up for weeks, if not months in advance. I'm no plumber, but I have a few basic handyman skills. So I went over there. Turned out the job was very easy, and within 10 minutes I had it fixed for her. The hairdresser tried and tried to pay me, but I refused. I didn't feel it was that big of a deal. Finally, she asked, well, would you accept a free haircut for your troubles? I thought about it for a second and gladly accepted. That got me thinking about what other skills could be traded with other folks in the future when money is scarce. So yeah, definitely, if money gets short, people are broke, maybe you guys can trade. You know, you fix this, I give you a haircut. You do this, I do that. It will become more widespread if we go into a bad recession. Today, I went to St. Louis to visit my 92-year-old father. He wanted to go out for lunch. We went to a local Dairy Queen. There was only one family there at lunchtime. There was a very friendly clerk at the counter who patiently waited while my father decided what he wanted. The food came hot and fresh to us in 5 minutes, brought right to the table. The whole place was clean. Only 2 other families came inside while I was there. I hope they're doing better at the drive-thru, though. I thought it was a little pricey, $12 just for a cheeseburger, small fry, and a medium Coke. But it was a nice experience, and the clerk said goodbye and wished us a nice day. Lately, I've been paying keen attention to warnings from you and other folks that shopping should be done with the buddy system. I totally agree. I've been suggesting to my wife and daughter not to go shopping alone, especially at night. I also stress to them the importance of situational awareness. Well, this weekend I had to eat crow when I went shopping by myself and failed to engage in situational awareness. I was at a local big box store when I was accosted by in a parking lot by a young man with a sob story about how he needed diapers for his infant. I offered for him to come with me and I'll buy him a pack. Needless to say, he refused. He preferred the money instead. I told him that all I had was a debit card. He wandered off and I went on to the store. Shortly after that, I saw him standing outside with about 3 other young men. None of them looked respectable or reputable. It was then I realized that during the time he spoke to me, I was not even aware of what was behind me. I could have easily been attacked by totally surprise. That sickened me. If someone like me, who is always preaching about monitoring the environment, could be easily caught off guard, what does everyone else would experience? So, situational awareness, shopping as a buddy team. Always do not get tunnel vision. If you're talking to someone and you're with a group, keep an eye on your backside, your 6. This is a tip for Canadians. The Hudson Bay store got a huge amount of clothing, shoes, boots, after a big delay due to the shipping, wait time, and ships from Asia being unable to unload. They were liquidating this. So check it out. Many items going 40 to 50% off. This is going to last 2 weeks. During the Depression, people had trouble with keeping themselves in footwear. This is a good opportunity to stock up on some extra footing. I have a relative who works at the Calgary store, and she told me about this. So, if you need something, Hudson Bay store, maybe get a good deal. This person said, a lesson learned. We have our stores in 4 locations, thank God. Day before yesterday, a 10-foot wooden shelf in an underground storm facility full of preps fell over, spilling everything. Worst thing is that the shelving, when it fell, blocked the only entrance in, and we can only open it about 9 inches. We are exploring ways to dislodge debris in order to get inside. I would have panicked a lot if the facility had all our preps inside. So, yes, spread your preps out, and I hope they can get into it. But if there's a lot of stuff falling in front of the door, it's going to be a struggle. They might have to get a little tiny person and go in there and pull what they could away from the door. I've been stocking minute rice. I know that is more expensive than regular rice, but if there was a power outage and you have minimal means of cooking, wouldn't it be more sensible to have minute rice that you only have to boil the water for 5 minutes instead of regular rice needing to be cooked for 20 minutes? If I had to heat my water outside to cook, I would rather heat it for 5 minutes instead of 20 minutes to save wood, propane, whatever means you were using. Does this make sense to you? Question mark. What do other people think? What do you guys do? I personally store the white rice, so it takes me longer to cook. But for short term, I like the brown rice. I think it tastes great, but it does not have a long shelf life. So I personally don't store any of the 5-minute rice. What do you guys think? Put it down in the comments, please. I live in Wisconsin. We went to the grocery store, and they only had 2 heads of romaine lettuce, and eggs were $7.39 per 18. So not too bad. I've seen the $7.39 for a dozen in some places. So I would say it was about $5 just 2 weeks ago. The New Zealand government is telling the public if they suspect family or friends of opposing government policies, you should report them. Big Brother is watching, and New Zealand is going head first into this. Yesterday, I visited a local urgent care place for an upper respiratory infection. They had no amoxicillin to supply from their in-house pharmacy, but gave me Zithromax instead, which is also going to work. Grateful for that. This is from California Central Valley. I had a scary incident while I'm shopping in a town of about 75,000 people. I went alone. It was for some last-minute gifts. The husband stayed to watch the kids. I figured it was in the middle of the day and be plenty of other shoppers. No problem, right? Everything was so very expensive that I had to limit what I got. Basic clothes, socks, underwear, soaps, toothbrushes, a little candy, and some Hot Wheels. Yet I still went over budget. When I was leaving the store, a clerk checking my receipt, plus Plus, he said, all the men's socks and underwear were locked in a cabinet, and I had to get a clerk to open it. So the store was securing itself from theft. However, when I left, a half a dozen young men crowded in really close to the front of the store, and they have those concrete safety posts. It was very hard for me to get through. So there was definitely a little problem there. I wanted to stop and give the Salvation Army bell ringer some money, but in no way was I going to take my wallet out and give him the money. As you can clearly see, I just lost power. It seems that Walmart has security for inside the store, but not as good outside the store. This is Washington. The U.S. rail traffic is heading towards the end of the year, and it's going to be on a down note. This week's volume was down 5.5%, 5.5% from the same week last year from 2021. And this comes from the Association of American Railroad. As you see, the power's back on. Hallelujah. The Tennessee, there was a store employee that was trying to stop a shoplifter. The suspect shot and killed him, and the suspect was, I think, stole some ammunition from the store. That's what they thought they did. This is from Ontario, Canada. My wife went to a family doctor yesterday trying to get stress leave as she is facing discrimination at work because she doesn't have this. We also had to have our doctor look at our daughter who is not feeling well. So the wife told the doctor what was going on, and the doctor said everyone should be vaccinated and left the room in a hurry. As the doctor was leaving, she asked to her to look at her daughter. The doctor replied with, "You don't get to speak to me like that," and left. I'm appalled. I can tell you the doctor is no longer our family doctor. This comes from Shaw Market, and this is in Idaho. Beef ribeye, bone and whole. They sent me some pictures of it. It was a big chunk of meat, 19.31 pounds, but the price was $16 a pound. Luckily, they had it on sale, so the original price would have been over $308. But with the sale price of $9 a pound, it only brought that big chunk of meat to $173.60. To me, that's a lot of money to spend on one piece of meat. The New York City Food Pantry had a huge line. It was wrapped around two big city blocks, and they sent me pictures. They said famine is here. Food prices here are insanely expensive. Hunger will turn civilized people into marauders. I work at a large trauma center in Pennsylvania. Recently, one of the nurses was getting on an elevator when a patient stepped off and punched her in the face. The nurse had no previous interaction with this person at all. Violence against healthcare workers is increasing. I understand patients and families are frustrated with waiting for beds or waiting for nursing staff to care for them, but this is not acceptable and is punishable by law. Definitely, this is assault. As a nurse of 30 plus years, I can guarantee that patients do not get anything more than medication, because it's almost impossible physically for nurses to do more. They're just so spread out thin. I'm at the end of my career, but I will tell you, if I could leave nursing today, I would leave without looking back. I'm 53 years old, and I'm tired of being spit on, punched, slapped, screamed at, and talked down to by families who think Google is gospel. Please ask your viewers to take a breath before screaming or worse yet, hitting a healthcare worker. A better solution is to demand better working conditions for healthcare staff from the administration. I work night shift at a pipe factory or a fabrication shop in Louisiana. On evenings when I don't bring my meal, I usually run down to Arby's down the road that is attached to a Love's truck stop. That evening when I went in, the entire dining area was packed full of Hispanics with luggage. I believe this may be one of Biden's immigration caravans. This is from Virginia near Manassas. The kerosene pump was at $5.99. It just jumped up to $6.69 in 1 week at the local gas station. Twin Falls, Idaho, Costco has no white eggs. They had a few containers of brown eggs. This is from Dominion Energy. Their gas bill, these people's gas bill in 2021, they used 77 units, and it was $128. 2022 they used 78, so pretty much the same, but their bill was $151. $23 doesn't seem like much, but it is an 18% increase. We set our thermostat at 65, but this year, in anticipation of higher costs, we'll set it at 60. The next bill is going to be huge with this winter storm. I work for a large insurance company in Kentucky. We're seeing a huge number of homeowners fires over the last couple of weeks. If you can remind everyone, just be really careful, especially with this cold snap. Make sure your furnace, your heaters, your fireplaces are all safe. Try to keep 4 feet of combustible materials away from them. But better yet, try to do 6 feet. If you're going to use candles, please make sure they're on like a ceramic plate and away from children and pets. It's best to unplug the Christmas tree before going to bed or leaving the house for an extended period of time. Also, if you got a live tree, make sure you water it. Also, a lot of people use their stove to heat the kitchen. Unfortunately, the plastic control knobs will melt and cause a fire if left unattended. I have an actual claim with this just happened last week. Connecticut, about almost $7 for an 18 banger of Walmart eggs. As you know, the Senate passed the omnibus spending package, which clears the way for the House to vote on it, and then it'll be sent to the president's desk. A lot of money was earmarked for Ukraine, and also in there was $12.9 billion to stabilize the Ukrainian economy and make up for shortfalls. I have no idea what they're going to do with this 12.9, but I can assure you that the United States economy needs some stabilization too. President Trump, his 2020 taxes were released, and it showed he paid no income tax during his last year as president, according to his tax return, which was released to a congressional committee and are set to be made public within a few days. Despite pulling in nearly $11 million in interest from investment, in addition to his $400,000 salary, which I heard that he donated, but I can't verify that. Trump did not pay income tax because he also reported a $16 million loss from his real estate business. That loss put the president's almost $5 million in the red for 2020. And it goes on further and further. So just eager to see. I know I pay taxes. I write a check every year to the federal government because I'm self-employed. And I definitely don't make millions of dollars. More information about the nationwide cold and flu medication shortage. It's everywhere. So if you need it and you're at the store, check. And if you need a bottle, grab it now. Went to our local Costco in Vancouver, Washington. No eggs of any kind. There's a lot of reports of that. I believe after we get through this bird flu thing and flocks can get replenished, you know, chickens are going to have to hatch and grow, and then become productive. I think we're going to see a shortage of chicken eggs for a while. This was a report, I didn't verify it. Overseas, Chinese are buying up medication in Japan and Australia to send back to China, where medicines are unattainable. And they do have a COVID influx, so maybe it's just related to that. This person says, this has been happening for a while now, but it slowly got much worse over the past few weeks. I work in the utility business outside of Kansas City, Missouri, and people are getting so brazen now they are stealing copper phone lines from telephone poles and then scrapping the copper for money, and it's happening even in small towns. This is getting out of hand, and it's like happening every day. They just pull up, cut some wires, and strip it down. Absolute crazy things are happening. So there you go, some boots on the ground. As you can clearly see, I have no power. So I'm going to go back into solar mode and get this video uploaded for you. But we have severe winds here. I'm going to be fine, but there's a lot of other people that might not. So pray for everyone in this storm. Thanks for watching.